15 December 2022. This Skidmark I'm just going to talk about in general, about being a video blogger. The things that I experience, highlights, frustrations, things like that. We see a lot of these productions on YouTube and enjoy many of it. The ones that we don't like, we don't go back to them ever, and things like that. But behind every one of those productions is a person that is investing time in producing that video. And he produces it for your pleasure or for your information or for you to learn something. But every one of those guys has got a mission. I never planned to do video blogging. I have got my Briekmerke blog that I used to keep, and I've also stopped publishing there. But in March, when the Ukraine war started, I was curious to find more information. And obviously, I watched the mainstream media stuff, and that was it. But pretty soon, I realized that we only get one side of the story here. And a journalist on Twitter pointed me to the Donbass, and as I said many times, at that stage I didn't even know there was a place like the Donbass. And I started finding alternative sources, independent journalists, unassociated news channels and things like that. And I realized that things is not represented to us in a balanced way. And there's a popular Afrikaans channel that I watched, and I also saw that the guy was also very biased, and I engaged him a few times, and in the end it ended with him blocking me and blocking me on his everywhere. And for a day or so I was fairly pissed off about it. And then, true to my nature, I decided, fuck that. I'll start my own shit and I'll tell the people my side of the story. And obviously my side of the story is the Russian side of the story. Now that has led to me being branded by a lot of guys as a Putin agent, and there's one guy that reckons I'm running a Putin sect here in Nelspruit and cuck like that. I entertained him for a while, and then I also cut him out of my life, because I will engage you, but I'm not going to waste my time. If nothing that I say make you change anything or any one of your opinions, I'm wasting my time, and obviously the two of us don't bring good things to each other's lives. And so I stepped out of that. But for me, producing these new snippet programs, this and that, and what the fuck else, and the Afrikaans one, dit and dat, and what the fuck nog, those things take time. Produce one of those episodes, so roughly 3 hours. It's about an hour in collecting the information and checking the information and making sure it's not bullshit and things like that. Then cropping the screenshots, then labeling them so that it can be sorted in categories and things like that. And then the actual production, that production takes roughly about 30 minutes, and then editing that, adding the images and so forth, about another 40 minutes. So in the end, I'm looking at about 3 hours. I do one of those per day, every day. So that's 3 hours. Then I've got about 10 channels, video channels, of commentators and analysts and so that I follow. And their programs in total also takes me about 3 hours of the day to go and listen to all of them. That's every day. That's 6 hours every day gone specifically to gather information so that I can do my presentations to you well informed, and I don't sit here and shoot the breeze or spitballing all the time. And then I have to deal with the messages that I get. I have to deal with the with the guys that tell me to go and get, well, I won't call it a name, but to tell me to just fuck off into the blue yonder and things like that. I have to deal with that, and but it doesn't bother me. As I've said in one of my Skidmarks, I'm not a softie. The softest part of my body is my teeth. And then I do these single subject programs. I do a lot of those. You have seen many of it, where I will discuss a single topic. The latest one that I published today was about the American bases around the world and how that is going to play out according to me. And then in all of that, I have to deal with the load shedding, like now, and I have to adapt. I'm not too concerned about it. Then I go through my daily, as I go through these sources of mine, I stumble on crazy shit, like the one you see here on the screen. I just captured it just for the hell of it. And it's a screenshot of a messaging thing, and the kid says, "Dad, am I adopted?" And the dad answers, "No, why the fuck would I pick you?" Now we can see that in a few perspectives, but I like to see it as a joke and just laugh at it. And then, as I've showed you guys with the photographs that I discuss, I see these things, and then we get to something like this. Look at that image. Now, at a first glance, it looks like just a simple staged creative photo. And I collected the photo, and then on one of the other channels that I follow, the photo popped up again, but there was a story with it. And then I read the story, and I nearly puked. This woman, this was all staged, part of satanic rituals and adrenochrome advertising to the elites and shit like that. So this is also things that I stumble on. And then we get to this one here. And this is just a small one. I'll show the bigger pictures in the upcoming Skidmark that I'm busy working on. And it is landscape photography in Russia. And I love these things. And I actually spend more time on them than I should. But I really appreciate that. And I bring these things to you. And I try to be diverse in the things that I do. And I depend a lot on feedback and so. But I've got a problem. Being a video blogger that is carrying the theme that is against the mainstream narrative is problematic. I find myself being shadow banned on this channel, which means that my things are not really reaching as many people as it could, and I depend a lot on my supporters to share the stuff. Otherwise I'm shadow banned on YouTube, and if you guys don't share my things, I will always be showing low viewer numbers and things like that. So I need the support. And on Twitter it's getting better. Facebook, still shadow banned. So although I've got quite a footprint in the social media, my stuff is not presented. And it can be disheartening at stages. But the channel is growing. And it is growing slowly but surely. And I really appreciate that. And for those that really want to know, there's no chance of me earning any revenue on this YouTube channel before I do not get past 1,000 subscribers. That is the entry line. You need 1,000 subscribers. My viewing hours is getting better, and it's looking better, and I'm qualifying. But the subscriptions, I'm still far off the mark. But I'm not going to let that really dictate my way forward. I just need you guys to let me know if you like what I do and if you appreciate what I do, because that's the way it goes. I'm sitting here and I do these things, and I just hope that it's of value to somebody. And as I said, it takes a hell of a lot of time. 6 to 8 hours of my day is invested in this. Now, fortunately, I'm semi-retired and I do have the time available. But there's other things that I can do, play with my radio control cars and build my models and things like that. But for now, this is it. I see we've had a little bit of rain in the past hour, and there's a lot of thunder and thunder clouds around. I hope we're getting good rain. I'm beginning to get worried. It's deep into the season, and we didn't have some really solid rains here yet. Yes, enough to keep the grass and the bushes green, but not a really serious rain. I hope this weekend it is our chance to get. Now, tomorrow is the 16th of December, the Day of the Covenant. If you have children, please take some time, sit down with them, and explain to them what is the real meaning of the Day of the Covenant, and make sure they understand, because there's already now moves in the media. A journalist did a hell of an article in which he suggested that that day must be cancelled. Now, I've got a message for him. Fuck you. That covenant was between my ancestors and God. And you, as a fucking journalist, do not have the authority to cancel that. But let's leave it there. I want to say thank you to you all. I really appreciate the support, and I need you to keep me on my toes. So don't be shy. Hit the comments and let me know if you like what I do or if you don't like what I do. If you should make suggestions, if you want me to change. We've got problems here with electricity in South Africa, and we're going to have bigger problems. Now everybody is up in arms about the writer being gone and so forth. The reality is, you can have Superman in this position. As long as this fucking corrupt government does not do what they are supposed to do, nothing will change. And I've got a feeling they are keeping us on the edge with this load shedding for some reason. But I'm getting vibes that the bigger corporations are beginning to get fed up. And I have got a funny feeling that the ANC is feeling pressure from the corporate world. So, let's see where it ends. And on that, have a great day, have a great evening, and if you're in South Africa, you must braai.